There are 40,000 visitors every day, 8 million every year. People come from all over the world to spend just a few moments with her, the time to contemplate her beauty, take a few pictures, or even get rid of an old piece of chewing gum between 2 blocks of marble. The winged Victory of Samothrace has moved visitors for generations. She is an icon. And yet, despite the statue's great fame, very little is known about its history. Unlike the Mona Lisa or the Venus de Milo, the winged Victory has never sparked controversy or been at the heart of a heated debate among art historians, nor has it ever been the target of an act of vandalism. The statue has towered over the Daru staircase for nearly 120 years, where it seems to have always been. But its story began 2,000 years ago and is one full of twists and turns and unanswered questions. From very early on, the Greeks personified concepts such as peace, revenge, or justice as goddesses. Victory, Nike in Greek, was one of the earliest of these incarnations. She was the messenger deity who spread news of victory granted by the gods. Conveying a sense of movement, her wings outstretched as she steps onto the deck of a ship, she serves as the link between gods and men.
Obviously, the Greeks were not entirely out of touch with reality. Artists would observe women walking down the street, the way a beautifully draped garment would naturally hang on the body. Sculptors lived in the city-state. They were often very much involved in daily life. But one of the defining characteristics of Greek art was its ability to observe reality and elaborate upon it. That's what makes Greek art so universal. By observing and contemplating the real world, such as a fold of fabric blowing in the wind, the sculptor could then render the idea of wind-swept drapery as the sculptor of the winged Victory of Samothrace must have done. My explanation is somewhat Platonist. There's the object and there's the world of ideas. And that's what Greek art is all about, finding a way to depict a goddess in human form as she struggles against the elements and magnificently lands on the deck of a ship. That isn't reality, that doesn't exist, but it's the product of a careful observation of reality, the reality of drapery, the reality of a woman in motion, but also much more than that.
The winged Victory statue is only one part of a larger monument. The second, its base, is just as important. The ship prow on which the goddess has just landed. The ship and pedestal are composed of 23 blocks of marble, the statue of 6. As a whole, the statue weighs nearly 28 tons. The monument today remains partially incomplete. Several pieces are missing from the ship and the winged Victory. Some, however, were replaced by plaster in the late 19th century.